Hello. Welcome to Done by Dorothy today. This is Dorothy, and we're here today. We're working on our Kindred Spirit journal we've been working on, and today we're going to do the cover. Now, you can do covers in a lot of different ways, and there's tons of channels out there with tons of videos on how to do that. So I'm just going to go through the basic of what I'm going to do. Um, I have I haven't bound it yet, but I have to still do the binding on that, and it's just going to be a three-hole pamphlet, or yeah, a three-hole pamphlet stitch. So pretty basic on the spine. And we've already have these. I will uh, make sure that I reinforce it with some washi tape, just like I did here, just because I wanted to sort of look the same. So I know that these are going to go in, and if I hold my thing, I can see roughly, this is roughly 2 inches. If I press it, I can get it down to 1. And I know I'm going to put some stuff in my planner, so I'm going to go ahead and plan on a 2-inch spine, just because I would rather have too much spine than not enough spine, um, especially using it as a planner. So I'm going to plan on a 2-inch spine. So that's how I sort of measure mine, and then I'll divide these through when I get ready to sew them in. I have been experiencing quite a bit of issues with my throat, so please bear with me, um, and I will try to, you know, muddle my way through this, and hopefully not lose my voice. Um, we'll see how that works. So I am going to fix one little corner. It's all goobery over here on this. My tape stuck, and when I went to lift it, it pulled itself loose. So give me a second. Okay, so I know that my page is 8.5 by 11. So when I fold it in half, I'm dealing with an 8.5 tall by 5.5 wide. So again, 8.5 tall, because this is a US letter, and roughly 5.5 wide. But I also know that I'm going to have tabs, I may have lace I haven't added, all that stuff sticking out. So 5.5, I like to add, that extra half inch on the side, um, just because that sort of protects if I want to put lace, anything like that out. So I always make mine 9 by 6 as standard. Again, I apologize for my throat. Please bear with me. I'm trying to take care of the auto zoom. So one of the dealing with 6 by 9, I cut my chipboard, and you can use cereal box. You can use, oh my gosh, cereal boxes. You can use the back of your paper stacks, or you can buy a chipboard. I buy my chipboard because I buy it, by in bulk. Um, so I cut it 6 by 9. My spine I've cut 2 by 9, or yes, 2 by 9. So I have two 6 by 9s and a 2 by 9. Now you can do paper covers, fabric covers, file folder covers. I mean, there's a lot of different styles of covers that you can do. My personal favorite is fabric, not just because it's fabric, and I love, anything and all things fabric, but also because I've found with like paper covers, file folder covers, that type of thing, especially now if you're going to make a journal and you're going to set it up on a shelf and it's going to set up there for decorative purposes, have at it, make all the paper covers you want. But if you're going to use this, and this again is a planner journal combo. So yeah, I'm going to be using this every day. I'm going to be opening, shutting, that type of thing. So it's going to get a lot of wear and tear on the seams, um, you know, of the cover and the spine. That's going to be open and shut, open and shut. So I know that's going to have a chance to be weak. I do not want it to be weak enough that it's going to tear paper or it's going to rip over time, that type of thing. So what I like to do is use my fabric. Now, I'm going to do this really fast because I didn't do this earlier and it's my fault. I should have done it. I am using, for my adhesive today, I am using double-sided tape. And I'm going to tell you why. I use glue. I use Mod Podge. I've used Art Glitter Glue. I've used Aliens Tacky Glue. Not my favorite because it takes so long to dry. Um, I've used Fabri-Tac, uh, Elmer's glue. I've used them. I'm using this today because I bought a ton of this. It's one. I didn't realize it was 1 inch. I thought it was ½ inch when I bought it, and it's 1 inch. And I got like 20 rolls of this because it is professional grade double sided adhesive, so it's a lot stronger than like your Hobby Lobby, your Michaels, your Dollar Tree double sided tape. It's extremely tacky and sticky. And because it's just sitting there. I've had it for several years and I just have not been using it. It's just sitting there and it's taking up space and I want to get rid of it. So I'm using my 1 inch adhesive. So let me trim this up here. So first thing I do is I know that let me grab my roller here. I actually like this ruler is my one I like better. I know that I'm using medium weight chipboard and it's roughly okay, like a 16th maybe, if even that. Yeah, about a 16th thick. I want at least an 1/8 inch gap between my spine and my cover. So what I like to do, oh, if I already glued one, didn't I like to take, okay, when I cut my board down, I always have the scrap left over. So this is a scrap left over. And what I like to do, I just keep one. And once you make it, you don't have to make it ever again. Just put it in your templates and you've got it forever. So what I like to do, and it doesn't have to be a whole piece. It can be just, a small piece. And this one's going to need trimmed because they're uneven again. Then I just take two pieces and stick them together. Sort of, make sure that they're, let me trim this down before I get that tape stuck to something because it is sticky. Okay, see, it's super sticky. Like I won't even put it in my trash can unless I glue it to I push it to something because it sticks. Okay, so by doing that, I've created my, sorry guys, let me get a drink. And I will have to pause probably a lot to get a drink because my throat is bad. And I apologize ahead of time for that. Okay, that gives me my 1/8 inch gap. Yep, 1/8. So that's going to let me be able to adhere this where I need to adhere it. Okay, I like to keep at least 1 inch around. If it's bigger, I don't care. I just don't want it to be smaller than 1 inch. I like to have that gap. Now, what I do is I cheat, okay? I really do. For my cotton fabric, this is a cream color. I don't know if the video will really show the cream really well. Yeah, so like, see, you can see it on it's a cream fabric. It's just a cream cotton. What I do is I go to Walmart. If you can find it cheaper, go for it. But I go to Walmart and I don't even go to the fabric section because if you go to the fabric section, you're gonna pay like $5. Unless you can find it on clearance, you're gonna pay, $4 or $5 a yard for this. I'm not paying that, guys. Not doing it. I go to the section with all the bed sheets and I find a cream colored sheet, fitted sheet and flat sheet, because that's the way they come together. I mean, you might be able to find just a flat sheet somewhere in your neighborhood. My Walmart doesn't. They sell them. You have to buy both of them. So I buy both of them. Most of the time, I'll get You can get a twin size. I don't. I get a king size. And let me grab it. I'll show you. And they come in nice little blocks like this. You can find these on clearance if you watch. This is a fitted sheet and a flat sheet. It is king size. I actually found mine on clearance for $7. You can find them. Um, I think they're like $12 regularly. They're pretty cheap, but you get a huge amount. I mean, I'm talking yards and yards and yards of fabric for less than what 2 or 3 yards would cost. So that's the way I do mine. And then I just cut them and rip them by hand, which is, they may come out uneven or whatever. So what I do is I do that, or I'll get them on my cutting table and measure it out and cut it. And I cut mine down into 1 yard sections. And then with a 1 yard section, of course, a yard is 36 inches. In a 1 yard section, after that, I'll deal with them 1 yard at a time. So with the 1 yard, I will take it and I will snip every, let's see, every 12 inches. So I get three width, by the length. And then I roughly, if I'm doing a 2 or 3 inch spine, I have enough room here that technically, if I slid this over to an inch by inch on the edge, I could get up to a 4 inch spine probably in here and have enough space. So that's more than enough for any journals I'm going to do. So I'll go ahead and split those down the middle. And so they're about 18 inches long by 9. And I'll split those up and I'll get 4 out of a yard. So like one king flat sheet, I can get roughly about somewhere between 24 to 30, depending on, if I need smaller sizes or whatever. If I'm doing like a smaller size journal, if I'm doing a mini journal or like a passport size journal, then it's going to be smaller. Okay, so let's get with it. But yeah, so, there's a hint on fabric. Don't go and buy it because it will. And I have put this down and I burnished it so it would adhere really well. This is stuck on top of the glue here, so get down here and grab it. Okay, and again, this is going to be pretty sticky, so I'm just going to put it somewhere in the middle, and I'm not even going to worry about if it's even. Not at this point. That very first piece, I just sort of make sure it looks like it's even. And again, I'll flip it over because I do have some wrinkles in mine, and I don't want the wrinkles. So then I'm going to burnish it. That's going to pretty much take care of all the wrinkles out of it. There we go. That's done. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the next one. And I'm going to have to pull all the paper backing off. And again, if you're using glue, that's perfectly great too. For the sake of the video, I decided to do the tape because A, I had all that tape that I need to use. B, it's faster because I don't have to wait for it to dry. So it's easier to work with for me on a video at least. There's always a little bitty end. Okay. Now, because this is super sticky, the first one, now I have a ruler. My ruler is backed with corkboard. So let me try to slide this up so you can see better. So I usually put my ruler at the bottom, just butt it up against where is, because it has that cork, it doesn't tend to go back and forth. Because this is 2 inch, it's pretty much going to hold it in a straight position for me. Okay, so I am going to need this. So slide this out and get it ready. Okay, so if I put this and I just put it towards the middle and make sure if it's, make sure it's not buckled or anything like that so it's straight, then I can just literally push this up. That's going to drop me where I need to be. I'm going to line it up with the ruler as I put it down, right up against the spine. Then that's pretty much going to stay there like that. And one thing about double-sided adhesive, you can pull it if you need to move it, as long as you don't press it. Once you burnish it down, this stuff's not coming up though. I'm just straight up with you guys. This ain't. Now I'm not sure about, the other brands, but this one does not come up after that. I'm trying to make sure I've got it nice and even. Okay, I think on that side I'm good. Let me make sure this is down straight. Okay. I'm not even burnishing it. I'm just rubbing it enough to adhere it so I can flip it over to burnish. See where it's got all the creases? Or all of the, and that doesn't bother me if you get them in the wrinkles in there. I like the wrinkles. I ink those up and sort of add them to my favor because, a lot of older books, if you find them, especially leather ones, they've got, but if you sit and work with it, you just have to move it. There you go. See? And that will flatten right out. Just move it around. Circular motions usually are really good on wrinkles. There you go. So let's flip this over. And I probably should have put this lower on the other end because I'm gonna have, I'll show you bloopers here in a minute. Because if I'm gonna flip this over and use this end to, because this one when I tore it crooked, and this was like the last one that was left in the thing, so that's the way it is. Okay. It's even the little tips already grabbing stuff sticking to it. Let me pull my tape off, the backing off. One side doesn't work, go to the other side because it's the way mine seems like it works. I don't know why. There was that one little space. Did you see where it's even physically moving it around the thing because of where it's sticking to my needle? There we go. Okay. So once again, make sure we've got it lined up here. Nice and even. This one's a little tougher for me because I'm right-handed, so it's sort of a little odd trying to do it all like that. To make sure that I have it even across the bottom. Space is not even here. And you can sort of slide this up and down to make sure that you got it. I think it's close. Oh, I think it's close. We'll get it figured out in a second, guys. Like, see, I should have slid it through here because. Okay. So I'm going to grab my tape. I'm going to put it all the way across. We're going to start on this short end over here. Okay, I am going to burnish right there really, really good because I like that to know that it's, adhered through there. Okay. Pretty good. Let me grab my scissors. And these aren't the best scissors to use for this, but they will work. And I usually cut mine. Oh, that's a little too far away still. Oh, about, I don't know, a little bit away from it. I'm actually going to be using metal book corners on this to protect it. Since I'm using it, I'm trying to do this so you guys can see, and it's probably getting more in your way than helping you here. Mine are probably a little bit too close, but I'm going to be putting metal corners on mine. I switched my scissors. I'm going to be using, I'm going to trim this down first of all because this is way too long. And I'm not going to worry about if it's even because it's all going to be covered up. There we go. You probably should do about 1/8 of an inch. I don't worry if mine's a little bit less sometimes because, especially if I'm putting metal corners on, because those metal corners will cover a lot. And I don't like a ton of bulk in my corners. Let's see if I get that up since I didn't burnish it. Yeah, I can. So be careful to rip your chipboard. There you go. Okay. So, and I always like doing I do my long ends first, then come back and do my sides. That's just my thing. And you can see where I burnished it down through there in where the spine butts up against it in that space. So it even, oh, that one pulled off. Okay, see how crooked this is? It's not going to matter because we're going to cover it, but that's just where I ripped it crooked. So yeah, I would say I always try to do 1 inch. You can get by with as little as a 1/2 inch. I don't like going any less than that just because I don't think it gives it enough. I think it needs that extra area through there. And you just keep picking it up and moving it. And if it doesn't lay completely flat, like here in the middle, where mine's, I might be, let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, okay, I can get it up. If you start in the middle, it's usually a little bit better. I'm trying to see if I can, yeah, I didn't burnish that. See, it'll come up if it's not burnished. Once it's burnished, it's done. Let's try to do it that way. That's usually, starting in the middle usually makes it a little bit easier. And again, I'm burnishing that. See where so that's going to hold in that. So now, let's start here. Just a push away, but I'm going to make sure it's tight around. There we go. And then I like to burnish right along that edge to make sure it adheres to the edge real well. So it holds it and embraces it some, gives it some support. See, I got the one little wrinkle over there, but we'll cover that with paper, so that doesn't matter. Okay. Let's flip it over here, and I'll try to do this one more up close so you guys can, or up farther in the screen so it's easier for you guys to see. Oh, that's not good. But that's okay. We'll get it in a second. And if you don't want to cut your chipboard to use in between, you can use your bone folder. It usually is a really good, measures just about the right distance that you need. Ah, don't do it like that. And I wanted to pull the front off where I'd burnished it so I can put this over the corner where it ripped. There we go. Careful not to get my bone folder over in there because it'll get all crazy. There we go. There we go. Okay. Again, we're going to start in the middle. And if this worries you, you can come through with glue and add on there. We're going to be covering it with paper, and the paper's going to have glue on it, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But it depends on how particular you are. Okay, there's that. I did the corners, so I'm now I'm going to cut this slightly at an angle on the corners. If I can get this one up, hopefully I can. Yep. And I'm going to cut it at an angle. Right there. Okay, now I'm going to grab my Fabri-Tac, and I'm actually taking the lid off the top of my Fabri-Tac because I'm using my finger. And I'm just going to get a small little bitty bit. And I mean, you can do this out of your thing if you want to. It doesn't matter. I'm going to put a little bit dot right here in the corner on both ends. And then I'm going to put a little bit right in here. Okay. Now I'm going to remove my tape, or the paper backing at least. So I can get it started. Oh, come on. It's too sticky. There we go. I'm just going to rub that Fabri-Tac in there just to get off my finger. Okay. Then I'm going to take over here in the corner, and I'm just going to slightly push that. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I just take it and push it in. See where it sort of creates this one folded over too low, but it sort of creates this folded lip part over here where it's, okay. Then I'm going to take this. So I'm going to grab my, hopefully I'll be able to pull it, yes. Because I'm going to fold my tape back so it's not all sticky there in the corner. Although, I mean, it'll stick to the paper, but I can try to pull it up. There we go. And that way, it's sort of covered. And when I get down here, I'm going to do the same thing. So on these sides, because I'm sliding this tape back, especially when I use the tape, I don't burnish it until I put the fabric against it, if that makes sense. Okay, and you'll see how my corners look on the outside. Okay, on the inside, there is this teeny tiny little area that looks where you can see the brown through. that's where I cut it too short. But I sort of usually do that on purpose. When I'm putting the metal book corners on, you can go through if it bothers you and trim this extra fabric off, or you can leave it on there, whatever. Just that one was rolled is why I moved it off, because it had rolled on the edge. If it's flat, I don't usually bother with it, and you can run and do your fabric tag around it. But anyway, these little corners I'm not really worried about a whole lot because they're going to be covered by metal corners. So normally I would leave these a lot bigger, but when I do metal corners, I try to cut them as close as I can because I don't want that balk, because if not, your corner doesn't attach exactly the way that you, or at least that I like it to. And again, I'm going to go ahead and put my fabric tack down here so it sticks in the corner. Then I'll put my paper on. Rub that on the fabric here. And put a lid on my fabric tack. Oh, both lids. Okay. And we know we want to put these sort of in an angle, so I'm going to go ahead and try to cut this ahead of time and be a step above myself. And that looks to be about just where I need it to be, which is perfect. Stuck myself. Okay. And again, I'm not going to burnish this until so you have to be a little picky when you go to pull it out or pull the paper backing off when you haven't burnished it, because it will try to come right up with you, because it's going to adhere to whatever's the easiest. Just need enough little glue there. Keep my lid on my glue. And again, I didn't tuck this corner in. Gotta tuck the corners in first. Sometimes it helps take your bone folder and push it through there. And then remember, I didn't burnish this tape down here so I could roll it. And because I didn't burnish it, I can actually still manipulate it to where I need it to be. If I had burnished it, it's still stuck pretty good, considering I didn't burnish it and just laid it there. Okay. And stuff all over my desk. It's been one of those weekends. I created like crazy this weekend, working on different things. We are doing gearing up. When we get this finished, we will be doing so there's our back cover. We will be working on our the Purple Passion. Um, Purple Purple Paper Passion will be our kit for our July. And you can find it in my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop is listed below. So if you go to my Etsy shop and just put in Purple Paper Passion, or just put purple in and do a search for purple, you will find it. See, this is loose up here. I think, well, I'm just going to cut it off. Like I said, you can leave that on there or cut it off. Up to you. It doesn't really get in the way. It just... So I'm working, and our videos will be not as long from now on. A, because I think it's easier for people to manage to watch in between, but B, because until I get my throat straightened out, I'm sort of restricted to how long I'm allowed to talk, because I just lose my voice if I do. So here is the front of our cover, and you'll see where we can bounce that spine back and forth, and there's not a problem. Okay, then on the inside, I'm actually going to be covering it with paper. And let me see if I have, I don't remember if I pulled the ones I wanted to use in there or not out. Give me a second. Let me check. Yes, I did have it. And then on the front, let's see if I can get to it. I can get my fingers to it. I actually thought I would do this on the front. I'm not a big fan of the yellow background. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's right. I was going to use this on the inside, because I do like her boots. I just didn't want it. I didn't like it for the outside cover, because I can put, but I don't really want to cover up a bunch of stuff either. I think we'll use this for something else. Anyway, I think we're going to put this on the inside, because then we can decorate without fear of like covering up too much. And then this is what I'm going to do on the outside. And I'm going to cut it down the middle, because I want the Anna Green Gables on the front with the little Anne. And then I want this on the back, but I want this part towards my spine. So let me grab my paper cutter. And again, this is 11 inches. So I'm going to need to cut it at 5.5 or 5.5 inches. If you give me a second, I will tell you it is 14 centimeters. So it is 11, which is the roughly 21.5 centimeters long, roughly. And again, by the 14. Oh, I needed to cut the inside too. And we're going to do it at the 5.5 and the 14 centimeters also. Ta-da! Okay. So I have this. So let's see. What do I want to adhere it with? Do I want to use a double-sided tape? Yep, let's go ahead. We have it. Let's use it and get rid of it. Let me cut this off straight. This just keeps me from having to glue and lets it dry a lot faster. Except when you put it on crooked like that, then you got to put 2 on. which is fine. I'll get it in a second. Don't do what I do. This is again why I don't like doing it on this paper this thin. Let's see. Can you make it a bigger mess? No. Okay. I'm going to trim it up along the edges so it's not all sticking out. Burnish it down. Then I'm going to... It's a good thing I'm putting lace across there. Although I doubt it'll even show. So yeah, you can use double-sided tape. I know I've had a couple people ask me, well, don't you ever use double-sided tape? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Sometimes. Just not all the time. Okay. So, yes. I want to do this. Let me... Well, I can... And I'm putting lace along the bottom edges, so I think I'll put it closer to the top. Because, like I said, I'm going to put lace around the bottom. This is that little end over there. Remember where I missed that little bit of... Let's just put the little art glitter glue on there and call it good. That'll adhere that one little corner down. I bent my needle. Okay, then let's do this one. No, not crooked. You need to go on straight. This one's going a little longer than what I wanted to. I guess I should have kept the decorating to another video. And you don't have to cover it completely. You know, you could just do the square around the outside edges if you want. It'll pull on. I'll straighten it out when we get it on there. Oh, I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. And if you celebrated any holidays, I hope you had a great time. And our neighborhood was so busy, like cookouts and all kinds of things. There's just stuff going on everywhere. It was a busy weekend, it seemed like. And then, well, our town where we live, because we're on a state line, and with fireworks, one state it's legal to sell fireworks. The other state it's not legal to sell fireworks. So we have two little, because we're like right on the edge. We have two little, and I put this about 1/8 of an inch. So I'll try to make sure I pull that down about the same. I think that's a little bit closer here. One side it's legal to sell fireworks, the other one it's not. So we have two little fireworks places that sell fireworks year round, not just at 4th of July, but no, year round. And so they always, what they call sampling the fireworks. So they have fireworks that go off all the time, all year long. Okay. So we've got that. Then I'm putting fabric down my center with probably a lace overlay. I'm putting lace across the bottom, so that's the inside. So we need to do the outside now. And yeah, so it's crazy. So it was loud and we had fireworks going off, and because people are gearing up for next weekend, or not next, yeah, well, pretty close to next weekend, and a little over a week away. Well, yeah, just a little bit over a week away, barely. And so sort of a busy weekend and lots of stuff going on and crazy times. And I know this is probably overkill on the tape, guys, and somebody's at home and they're going, "Oh my gosh, why is she using so much of that?" I don't know. Because I like using glue because I always have this fear that tape won't stick. And even though I know this stuff is so sticky that I can't get it off my scissors hardly, I still, worry about it sticking, so I put too much on it probably. And of course, this is the first journal that I've ever made that I have not inked. And it is killing me not to ink. Y'all know me and my inking then. I immediately want to grab my ink when I get done doing this, when I'm getting ready to put it down out of habit. So it's been sort of a learning curve because, you adapt to having your ink on there. So, it's like, oh, well, this doesn't look right, or, especially I noticed with the collaging because, I'm so used to inking even when I collage that, it doesn't look right because I don't have those darker edges and all of that. So now I need to figure out which do I want my front to be. Oh, it's going to be this one. Okay, I am putting lace over the outside edge. So this is going to go around here. I need to even this up. No, so I'm not burnishing. Because yes, I'm going to measure this. I think it's about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, this need to slide over just a tad bit. Try there. Nope, I would say that's about spot on. Let me make sure. This is about 1/4. Yep. This is about 1/4. Yep. Okay. We're good. We're good. Now when I can find my bone folder. Give me a second. I'm losing my mind. It's under my ruler. It's hiding from me. And again, I'm going to put some lace, like I said, off the spine and my corners. This is going to be the front because of using it as a planner and a journal where I want to write into it. I want to write in it daily. I don't want it so embellished that I can't lay it flat, if that makes sense. Which is one of the reasons why I created this, where it looks, you have those different depths of layers. So if you want it flat, you can keep it flat like that. So just so you know why I did what I did. And we are almost done with this for today. Then, like I said, I am going to be putting lace on the spine because, I can use thin lace and it can be pretty flat. So I'm going to get, some embellishment on there. And I do have like a charm that's going to go on a bulldog clip that's going to hang. And I already made it. And I'm in love with it. It's just a single dangle, but it has a Anna Green Gables. And I will find when we get to that and I pull it out and I show you. I still have to put it on the bulldog clip. It's on a bulb pin right now, but I'll just hang the bulb pin off of the bulldog clip. But when I get to that section, I will make sure that I link the Etsy shop where I found it. I absolutely adore it. I just undid every bit of that glue on there and moved it down the tape. I know it was going to because my fingers were getting sticky. So and there will be some other videos coming in the near future. I have a couple hauls that I did. Woohoo! We love hauls, right? One was an estate sale. Well, not an estate sale, but a sale. Well, it pretty much was an estate sale because all the stuff was from an elderly lady who'd passed. But it was technically not an estate sale as in an auction. It was a estate sale as in a sale. And I got some stuff there. I got quite a bit of things there. See what else. There is a Goodwill haul. Yay, we love Goodwill. I have another little small Walmart one. Let's see, Walmart, Goodwill. I'm thinking, guys. Let me think. In the State Hall. What else is it? Seemed like there was something else. Maybe that was it. Oh, no. I got an Etsy shop share. Actually, I have a couple of those to do. And if you have a small Etsy shop and you want me to, do a shout out for you or anything, let me know. Because I'm getting ready I'm going to do an Etsy shop share type thing once a week. And remember, I wanted this towards the inside, but it's not. It's going to go this way because that's the way it works. Let me pull out my ruler and see my measurements. That's a 1/4 inch. That's a quarter. Ooh. Oh, I love when it works like that. I have this one little dentist here right there. I'll have to do that again. Yep. Love when it goes down like that. Love when it works like that. Very rarely does it work like that, but it goes on completely even. Okay, so we will deal with adding our lace, but there's our inside so far, which I love. I love the rows on here. We do have lace we're going to put across the bottom. So there is a larger gap at the bottom than the top because of that. And I think I'm going to put lace across the top and the bottom. I may put lace all the way around on the inside. That'll add a little bit of embellishment to the outside. Maybe a larger lace and then a smaller lace around the outside up here. There's our spine. Looking good. So we literally, if you wanted a clean spine, or if you were sewing a journal and you wanted your signature, you were doing like a cross stitch spine, You could definitely use that. The front looks good. Very, very happy. So there is our cover, and let me grab my, there's that one. Let me grab the other two because I'm putting two in at a time. There's one. Where's the other one that ran away from? 12 weeks in at a time, which I like because then I can work, And I mean, obviously, I'm going to embellish them and things, so it's going to be a little bit wider. But, and you'll see, like, obviously, they're not sewed in right now, but let me hold it up this way. So you'll see, I'm trying to get my fingers in here. Okay. So add a 2-inch spine. Let me hold this at 2 inches here. Okay, this is at 2 inches on this end. Let me grab this end and do it too. Okay, this is at 2 inches, so you can see I still have plenty of room in there. So I can embellish into my planner too. And once I get it finished, I will be sharing each week when I do my planner in here, because if you remember how we did our planner pages, we've got our weekly, what we're going to be writing in. We've got notes, and then we've got our actual junk journal pages. So I think I'm going to do like a collage, and then have these for my notes on the side. Because this is going to be, I have detailed planners that run through my daily and all that. This is going to be my highlight. This is going to be my grab it in the morning, write all my notes in my journal that I need to put in for the day. And then I can look through here and go, okay, Monday, I have to go to the grocery. Tuesday, I have to pay the bills. I have to do this, blah, blah, blah. So it's like my week at a glance is what this is pretty much going to be. And then, I can put in here doctor's appointment, and then I can, maybe what I'll do is, I have different colored markers, and what I may do is like, make a little box or color the box with the day in. Like if it's in my personal journal, then I'll put it there. If it's a business thing, like I have a business conference call on Wednesday, then I'll highlight this in green, it's business, that type of thing, or whatever colors I pick, or however it works. But there we go. So we're working on it, guys. We are so close. Can you almost feel it? I love when we get to this point. So, okay, I will see you again next time. You guys have a great day. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you again. Bye.